and through these videos we are discussing classical Sindhi poetry and its linguistic aspect and philosophical too. As Sindhi classical poetry offers a very beautiful thought, focusing on mysticism, focusing on internal personal management, and focusing on the interaction with the human beings and focusing ecology too. Today I would like to share my presentation on a couplet of Shah Abdul Latif from Surasa, or the Melody of Hope, and that couplet reflects very beautiful thought about inner self and different dimensions of self. So the bait is मुंह में मुंह सिपजे मुंह के मुंह जुगाए मुंह में मुंह सिपजे मुंह के मुंह जुगाए. It means I, myself, or self is conceived within me and it suits to me. Muh manjha muh thiye. It emerges from within me. Muhi muji sanjay. I am recognizing the self. Kuchan kanhe jaay kedah karya pandlo. There is no talking or asking space. Where may I go to? Where may I start journey? So this is very beautiful couplet. Within my own self, the self is concealed. Awaken me to my true self. From within myself, I became the real self, and through that self comes the knowledge of the self. Then where remains any journey for me to undertake? If everything is within oneself, then how one should move forward or move to? So this is very much comprehensive thought of Shah Abdul Latif Bhitai, focusing on the self. So we would try to cover linguistic analysis, grammatical structure, lexical symbolism, mystical philosophy, Sufi epistemology, relevance to Islamic mysticism, and contemporary significance of the Ved. Literal meaning: I, or self, mu. He says the real self is hidden within me. Awaken me to my true identity. When I know myself, there remains nowhere else to travel, because the destination is already within. Vane chovankar hit nagoli ho take. Why you are going to woods? Why you are not searching hoth or beloved here? Linguistic analysis of this bait is mu occurs repeatedly, and instead of referring to the ordinary ego, its meaning gradually shifts into ego, self, and then soul, consciousness, and divine reality. This mu is not just merely a symbolic self, but it represents all the dimensions of self. This semantic transformation is one of Vitai's major poetic devices. Morphologically, mu, first person pronoun, sipje, created, conceived, jugai, suited, awaken, manja, from within, sanya, recognition, awareness, pandlo, journey. The vocabulary moves from hideness, hiding, awakening, realization, then transcendence. All of these four steps of the self towards its maturity. Syntax, repeated inversion. Instead of saying I discovered God, then the self itself becomes the key. The syntax creates a spiral movement inward rather than outward. Mu manjai, mu thiye, mu manji, munji sanjai. Stylistic features of this bait are repetition of mu 4 times creates rhythmic meditation. Parallelism mu me mu manjai mu creates symmetry. Circular structure, the poem begins with self and ends by dissolving the need for the movement. Philosophical analysis uh, can be said that the poem asks one question: who am I? Who am I, or who is myself? This is the oldest philosophical question, but I's answer is know yourself and you discover reality. The journey is inward, not outward. That is the whole thesis of Shabdulati Pitai. The Beth illustrates 3 stages. First, Ghafla, ignorance of oneself. None knows him or herself, the potential, real potential of the person. And then Marfa, self-recognition. And then union, the seeker discovers that separation never existed. This inward path reflects central themes in Shah Latif's Sufi thought. In this way, Ibn Arabi also reflects on the same thought. The poem closely resembles Ibn Arabi's doctrine of Wahdatul Wujud, or unity of being. The apparent I is only a reflection of real being. Knowing oneself becomes knowing God. Man arafa nafsahu faqad arafa rabbahu. Comparison with Rumi. Rumi says, why are you searching outside? What you seek within. Bitaï says, awaken yourself because the destination already exists inside. Both reject external pilgrimage in favor of inner realization. Comparison with Upanishadic thought. Tattvam asi, you are that. Bitaï, the self within reveals the real self. Both emphasize inner realization rather than ritual. Bitaï, however, frames this insight within Islamic Sufi devotion rather than Vedantic metaphysics. Existential interpretation of this Ved can be said that modern philosophy asks, who am I? Bitaï says, identity is not created through possessions, status, or society, but through awakening consciousness, awakening inner self. The journey ends with when authentic selfhood is realized. Contemporary relevance of this couplet is very much pertinent because the Beth addresses identity crisis of modern era. It addresses the consumerism. It addresses the materialism. It addresses the mental distraction. It is addresses spiritual emptiness. Its messages do not search endlessly outside. Begin with self-knowledge. If we conclude this discussion, then we can say that main linguistic features used are reflected by this couplet is pronoun repetition, semantic expansion, circular syntax, symbolic vocabulary, musical rhythm, and main philosophical themes are self-knowledge, divine consciousness, inner awakening, unity of being, end of duality, inward spiritual journey. Central message of this Ved is the longest journey is the journey into oneself. The longest journey is the journey into oneself. Once the true self is realized, there is nowhere else to travel. Punuthyas pan sasvita surava. So this couplet offers very beautiful thought, and also that thought can guide us to realize ourselves for mystical pursuit as well as for mundane matters too. We are living in shared world. This world is not anywhere in isolation. We are part of a vast environmental, ecological context of the nature. If we are living in shared world, then we must focus on self and we must recognize that self, what it is, how it can be recognized, how it can be uh, recognized and then reunited. So, different aspects and steps are related to the realization of self. As far as self realization in mystical terms is, Sufi poets have focused firstly on realization of self, to train self, and then move forward and then move towards the divine reality. And as far as mundane matters are concerned, then we are looking at different aspects of human societies, and human societies have been facing different crises in during different ages, but there are some crises which have been cross-cutting to the all of the human societies. And first crisis, identity crisis. And identity crisis can be resolved by the recognition of self. And recognition of self, firstly, at the end of individual, and then at the end of or the level of society itself, societies, nations, and so on and so forth. These are very much variable definitions of the gatherings or congregations of people. So identity crises have been remained uh, in the world throughout centuries, in the far off past, in the recent past, and in even the present times. Because human has great power, and human power is unlimited power. However, they only know and recognize to the extent they are doing the journey intellectually or through performance. So, human potential and power is unlimited. When it is unlimited, then people are in search of their identity. And when they are in search of identity, it creates identity crisis in the society. And identity crisis in the society can be resolved by a recognition of the self fairly and squarely. Because when an individual will recognize herself, then he will develop a connectivity to his society and to the nature in the larger context he is living in. Then the second thing nowadays in our modern society, present day society, not modern, consumerism is, because here in we are living in free markets, and free markets have created only two parties. One is producer and then other is consumer. So consumerism is great discussion of the world, and consumer needs to be focused on, because consumer makes very huge number of the population throughout the world. Producers are few and far between. However, consumers are millions and billions. If they are millions and billions, then and they are very much pushed to the class segments. And when they are pushed into class segments, they are being treated as number one, number two, number three, number four, so on and so forth. And similarly, following that suit, they are being provided the products too. There is no equality in the world in domain of consumerism. One consumer is enjoying the millions, billions, and trillions of the things, and the other consumer is longing for merely just an apple. He cannot use and eat an apple without the case when he is he fail ill and he falls ill or goes to the doctor and doctor suggests him that you must take an apple. So that is the crisis of consumerism, and consumerism has created many classes. One person is going on the bicycle, and the other is traveling in a vehicle costing millions of billions. So that is inequality in the domain of consumerism. Then comes materialism. People are focusing much more on material world. They are not conscious of inner self or metaphysical world or non-material world because they own and possess much more in that domain too. And because of that ignorance and negligence, they are facing many negligence and ignorance of non-material world or metaphysical world or spiritual world. People are facing many problems throughout the world, and being very much rich, being very much satisfied in material world, people are not enjoying the real life. And then mental distraction. Mental distraction is because of that material considerations and crisis of consumerism. Spiritual people are feeling just they are empty, as T.S. Eliot's poem is Hollow Man. We are the hollow man, we are the stuffed man. And Shah Karim has also written that Hyun Hazur Jan Pirin Akhadan mein Thala Danda Sakhana Hun Jad Diyan. So that is all about these crises throughout the world, and this breath of Shah Abdul Latif offers such beautiful thought, and those thoughts can be utilized, can be made as guides to address the identity crisis, to address the different issues and problems of consumerism, and to address the materialism, hypertension, and to avoid and to spare from mental distraction, and to recover spiritual emptiness. So this breath is very much pertinent in these areas too, as it focuses on self, and when it focuses on self, then it uh, offers also resolutions, not only thought or merely only uh, simple things, but it offers solution to. And when we say that मुंह में मुंह सिपजे मुखे मुंह जुगाए, myself is being conceived within me and it's suited to me. Mu manjai mu thiye. It emerges from within me. Mui muji sanya. And myself recognizes myself. Kuchan kane jaye keda kare pandro. I am wondering, or I cannot make any talk wherever I am starting my journey. That is the question. And this breath offers very beautiful thesis about I, myself, and different layers of ego. How we can train ego, how we can utilize ego, and how we can make a guide to it. So thank you very much. You have listened me and watched me on this channel, Sophie Vibes, and kindly share your invaluable thought, opinions, so as we may improve this transmission. Thank you very much.